Hi, welcome to today's yoga session. And what we're going to look at today is some of those areas, our favorite areas: shoulders, hips, and upper back. You know, quite often we talk about our lower back issues. People say, oh, I've got lower back issues. But quite often those lower back issues are also related to the thoracic spine, which is the space between here and here. When we think of lower back, we tend to think around there. We go, oh, we do this kind of thing, don't we? But if you see the way that I'm moving, I'm going, oh, and look, nothing's actually moving here. And what happens is that this area, the pelvis, has a lot of range of motion in the disco. And we overcompensate for our stiff areas in the upper back for this very, very flexible pelvic area. And I'll show you that when we start the practice. And the other thing as well is the shoulders. Our shoulders, you can see, I'm not just moving my wrist, that's me moving my wrist. This is me moving my shoulders forward and back. If you do that, there's quite a lot of range of motion. And then if you circle the arms around in this direction, and then back in the opposite direction, there's loads of range of motion in these shoulders, and yet we actually use very little of that range of motion in our everyday lifestyles, in modern lifestyle in 2025. Just because of the nature of those lifestyles, we tend to be very sedentary, and that's kind of sitting there like this with a hump back. And that's in that stiff area that I'm talking about. The hump back, the shoulders forward, the low breathing capacity, as opposed to big breathing capacity, nice long spine and pelvis in a neutral area. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a sequence that you can incorporate into your everyday life, and it's going to be less than 20 minutes. But what it's also going to do is it's going to address those areas that are part of your everyday life so that we can get those moving. And we're going to begin with cat and cow. Now, cat and cow, before we rush off, cat and cow, for some of us, you might have done cat and cow hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times over the years. For other people who are just beginning, you may be thinking, what the hell is cat and cow? I'm going to show you. And cat and cow is really, for me, a fundamental movement that helps to dislodge that stiff area there. Yeah, it helps to dislodge that. It helps to move the shoulders around and move the pelvis around. And it's something that literally, if you only have 5 minutes in the morning, I would recommend cat and cow. And let's get on our mats and we'll do that. You literally do not need anything except a mat for this. So we're going to start off in tabletop. So tabletop, you want your tabletop to be, your arms to be like this, and you can see already the back of my shoulders is smooth, and it's not this. Yeah, it's this. So essentially tabletop is that coming down to land there so that the arms are nice and long, and the knees. So you're not either leaning back or leaning forward. You're very much in a stacked position. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, knees and hips. And the back is long, and you're not doing that. You can see collapsed here and collapsed here, and the shoulders, look, poking shoulders. Think long and think long back, and also think long in the front, so that you're being very aware of the front of the body as well as the back of the body. It's really, yoga is really an amazing practice of awareness about how you are able to move, and the connection with your body and your mind, because very often rigid body, rigid mindset. Those two things are very connected, but that's for another story. Let's begin with cat and cow, but just before we do, we're just going to stretch the legs. to extend the right leg back. So the right leg, you can see, look, it's moving in that hip joint, but what I'm not doing is moving my whole body around with it. So I'm just directly extending my right leg back and putting the foot down. And we were talking about that, and then I'm pushing through the heels, but again, I'm not leaning back into the heel, I'm lengthening the leg. So it's like, imagine I was pulling your leg and I was stretching the muscles, and everything else was completely stationary. So my thighs, my calf, the back of my thighs, my glute muscles are being stretched, and then I'm swapping it to the other side, and I'm doing the same thing with the left leg. I just directly move the leg in the hip socket, push through the heel and lengthen the muscles. So nothing, the table hasn't moved, it's just this leg. Then we're bringing that back. We'll do it one more time with the right leg, pushing the right leg back through the heel. And this time we're going to lengthen the left arm, looking down, and get lengthening from the left finger, middle finger, to the right foot as the foot comes off. Now lengthen, you can see that there's a straight line from that left finger to the right heel. Lengthen the right leg and lengthen the left arm and lengthen the front of the body. Take a full inhale there and a nice long exhale. Once more, full inhale and a nice long exhale, becoming stable. One more, inhale, exhale down. Let's go to the other side. Left leg back. Lengthen the leg, take your time to do that. Lift the leg in that hip socket. Lengthen the front of the body and then lengthen the right arm and look down so that you're a big long length, I was going to say there, a big long muscle. Keeping the front of the body very open and active, really, engaged. And then exhale down. Then we're going to begin cat and cow, but first of all, my arms are in this position, yeah? Eyes at the elbows, tracking the thumb. As I inhale, let's fully exhale, inhale, the diaphragm lowers and the tailbone starts to lift, and then the tummy relaxes, but watch the arms as they rotate, and I draw the chest through, and I stretch the throat. And then they're going to rotate inwards, watch the arms. Chin in tight. Inhaling, you're going to turn the pelvis, relax the tummy, open up the ribs, rotate the arms, draw the chest through, and then exhale. Rotating the arms again, chin in. Then inhale. Then exhale. Then inhale. Each beat of the spine is moving. And you're trying to get into, just continue that. You're trying to get into this area here, in between in between the shoulders, where in dislodge, what is that very, very common now, hump back. And you can't expect that if you just start doing this one day, that humpback's going to go. It's going to take some time. But it's happening, that humpback's happening to a lot of younger people, and you want to get rid of it while you're young, so that when you get to my age, you're not stuck with it, and then it will be very hard to get rid of it. One more, let's come back to the tabletop position. I'm going to step the left foot forward, the foot's in front of the knee, and then walk in and lunge forward. You're lunging in the front of that the right hip. Big long arms at this point. You can bring the forearm down to a brick or a, a brick or a cushion, or you can bring them all the way down to the floor. Breathing there. Nice and juicy stretch on the inside of the left leg. 2, let's breathe there. Open up the ribs. 3, 4, and on 5, walk the hands back in. And we're going to do the same with the right, but I'm going to turn around so that you can see. We're going to walk forward, sliding in, arms down, elbows down. But you can see what you don't want to happen here is for this knee here to wobble off. You want to keep the knee pointing forward, and that might be hands here. 3, 4, and on 5. Step that foot back, tuck the toes under, and when you lift the tail up, you're going to stretch the back of the hamstrings. So very common in downward facing dog, people are like this with the bent legs. So if you can point the tail up more, lengthen the back so the back isn't round, relax the shoulders, and then bring the heels down towards the mat. So the front of the legs, you're lifting up, the muscles up, and the back of the legs, you're pressing them down through the heels. So the stretch is going up the front and then down the back. Great for hamstrings. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, we're going to bring the knees down, rotating to the side of the mat. Stepping the right foot out to the side so that the inside of the right foot's lined up with the side of the mat. Bring the right knee and ankle above each other. Shoulders are facing forward and hips are facing forward. And you're going to extend the left arm up. Lift up out of here first. So lengthen that right. So when it's like imagine I was lifting your right arm, your left arm. I can't get my left and right, sorry. And I'm creating a gap here, a stretch here in this bit. Because this is a bit when we're sitting down, this is where the slouching happens. And keep lifting up, keep lifting up, keep lifting up, and extend that arm over. But you're extending from here. So it's like I'm trying to get a space in that area around here, where when you're sitting a lot, this becomes what I call seeping ki, which is just a band of dead energy, a band that just won't move. Take an inhale through the center, bring that left hand to hip, and exhale, right arm then over with the right, and the left hand's walking down the side of that left leg. Inhale through the center, and we're going to do the same thing, but make sure you lift up and then you go over. Inhale through the center, windmill, right arm over, but again, up and over, up, right into here. It should feel really juicy, this. Inhale through the center, left over. Inhale through the center, right over. Really lift up, really stretch. Inhale through center, left over. Big inhale, windmilling through. Last one. Extend it over. And maybe for some people you can bring that hand down to the floor. You get a little bit deeper, maybe not. Breathing there. 2, 3, 4, and on 5. Windmilling into a mini warrior 2, and the eyes are on the front middle finger. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Lengthen the back. Inhale and exhale. Come back to kneel, and then we're going to switch, going to the left side. So again, foot is underneath the knee, forearm to thigh, hips and shoulders are facing the side. Right arm extends, so you're lifting up there, trying to create a bit of space there. That's the bit where we want to get into. Lifting up, then extending over. Taking a full inhale, then an exhale, and then inhaling through the center and windmilling the left arm over. Inhale through center, right arm over. Really stretch, really go for it. Inhale through center, and I was saying this the other day, imagine you're in one of those medieval stretching machines and you're becoming longer. Inhale through center, so you're lengthening the body's stretching. And it was making me think that did they stretch people by doing that? So could we do it in our yoga practice? Answers on the postcard. Inhaling through center, extend. Inhale through center, extend. Inhale through center, extend. And this really is, wow, for lots of people, this is almost like answering all their stiff questions. Back to warrior two, eyes on the front middle finger. Taking a full inhale, exhale back to kneel, rotate around. Hands come down, tuck the toes under, and let's stretch the back of those kneecaps again. Stretching the back of the hamstrings. Ears are next to the biceps. And then walking the feet forward. We're going to bring the feet outside the hands. Sit down into a squat position. So in Navasana squat, I'm going to turn around. You want the feet, it makes it easier when the feet are wider. When you're practicing, you could get a cushion and put the cushion underneath your tail like this and sit. Sometimes when we're doing in, we do it with this, like this, so that you're opening up the inner thigh and you're lengthening the back and you're getting the benefits of the posture, but just that little bit of extra support. Breathing there. Sliding the shoulders down the back so you're not in this kind of position. And there's not, so from the side, it looks like this and not like this. See the hump back? Lengthen it so that you're looking forward, so you get rid of that hump back. And then we're going to sit down with a seat. Now, when you come into Navasana, you want to first be sitting up. You can feel the sit bones there. And then stay on those sit bones. It's quite wobbly, and lift one leg off and lift the other leg off. So it's wobbly. So use your hands at the back of the thighs to stop that wobbling around, to stabilize. Then maybe you can stretch the one leg and then maybe the other. Now for beginners, I'd always keep a couple of fingers there. And then when you get more used to the posture, you can come into it without the hands. What you don't want to do is start roll back so that you're on the lower back. So I'm still sitting up on my sit bones. I'm still in that V shape. So this is better practice than that. This is us really getting the muscles to learn and to strengthen the correct muscles so that we can be in this position. 2, 3, 4, and then on 5 we're going to lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looking at the ceiling, lengthening the arms, lengthening the legs, and then inhaling up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend cross the ankles, roll over the knees, step back to tabletop, and then step back to plank. Another lower back strengthening. Breathing there, 5 breaths, 5. So in plank, you want to have the same long back. You're using these big muscles. Look at the size of these big muscles compared to these muscles. These are the ones that you want to use. So that really strong, long legs that we were looking at the beginning, the broad shoulders, the long arms, breathing there. 3, 4, and on 5, bend the knees and stick the tail up. Walk the feet in appropriately, then walk the feet to the front of the mat, and we're going to sit back down into Malasana squat again. 2, 3, 4, 5, Hala, Navasana. Again, use the hands, practice. Let go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, either using the hands, reset. Bend the knees, open the knees out, hands inside, inhale, exhale, right, twist. Inhale, center, twist left, right. centre, left, centre, right. Speed it up, centre, left, centre, right, centre, left, to right, centre, left, centre, right, centre, and hold, cross the ankles and come back up to sit again. Sitting up nice and high there, and then again, bringing the feet in, sitting up on the sit bones, and we're going to lower down. We're going to do a nice long twisting sequence as we extend the right leg up, then the left leg up. Let's stay there for 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale, 1. Relax into this, 2. And if it's becoming quite challenging, you can always bend the knees, 3. So making sure that the pressure is not on the lower back, that you're using those abs, 4, 5. Extend, straighten them again. Bend the knees in. And then we're going to straighten them again. Cross the right over left. Wrap the right foot around the back of the left calf. Bring the knees into the chest, getting into those hips now. Bring the knees in towards the chest. It feels quite deep in the hips. And then you're going to roll those knees to the floor on the left side, shuffling onto the left hip, and then tucking the left shoulder under and looking over to the right hand. So you're really deeply twisting from the navel down to the left and from the navel up to the right. Let's take 5 breaths there. Inhale and exhale, 1. This is really getting into that humpback area. 2, 3, 4, and on 5, release. Come back through center. Shuffle the hips back and extend the legs again. Cross left over right. Maybe wrap the foot around. Knees in towards the chest. This is a bit that gets you into those hips when you bring the knees in. And then you roll to the right side. Knees come to the right. You tuck the right shoulder out and you look to the left. So you're twisting from the waist up to the left and from the waist down to the right. So you feel that lovely twist going all the way up the spine. This is fantastic for dislodging that tension in the upper back. 2, 3, 4, and then on 5, unraveling the legs, bringing them back to center, straightening them in the middle. Let's breathe there again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then bend the knees and just bring the right foot down, then the left foot down, and slide the legs along the mat, and you're in Shavasana. Take a full inhale and then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can either roll over to one side and come up to sit, or roll up and down on your back. See how free that back is. And we're up to sit. Sitting up. I always like to sit on a cushion or a brick. Sitting up there, nice and high. Let's just take a moment to connect. Softening the face. And at this point, bringing your attention to your heartbeat. Listen to that heartbeat. Let's have half a minute silence, listening to the heartbeat. Slowing the breath down. And then taking a full inhale and a nice long exhale. Once again, a full inhale. Nice long exhale. Rubbing the hands together. Bring the hands over the eyes. Open the eyes into the hands, and then just rubbing that energy over the head, down the arms, down the centre of the chest, around the kidneys and the liver, and down the legs, all the way down to the feet. You're all ready to go. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.